Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're going to talk about how to find the area of a circle, all right? Before I proceed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also click the notification bell so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. And also, before you proceed into this video, please make sure you've reviewed previous video because it's important. Because we've already mentioned some concepts like a radius, a circumference in the previous video, which is going to be very important for this. Now, how do you find the area of a circle? It's very easy, all right? The area of a circle is defined as the amount of space occupied or covered by that circle in a two-dimensional plane. So basically, what I'm saying is when you have this particular circle, and like I told you, the circle, you have the radius, okay? And this is the radius. Now, when we're looking at the area of the circle, what we are basically saying is that we're looking at the amount of space covered by the circle. So that means we're looking at the space here, all the space we have here. We're looking at we're calculating the amount of space that this particular circle covers. All right, so that's what we are trying to figure out in this video. How do we calculate the amount of space covered by this what? By this circle. All right. So because I'm aware that some of us do take notes, I'm going to write what I just said down. So the area of a circle, okay, the area of a circle is defined as the amount, okay, the amount of space occupied, okay, or covered. So you can use occupied or you can use covered, all right, by the circle. In a two-dimensional plane. Okay, so covered by the circle in a two-dimensional plane. So how do we now find the area of a circle? We have a formula. There are two ways of writing this. You can write this in terms of the diameter, or you can write this in terms of the radius, okay? So I'm going to write both of them. So depending the kind of question you are given, will determine which of them you will use, all right? So how do you now find it? So the area of a circle will be equal to what? Pi r squared. Now, but if you're given a diameter, okay, if it's a diameter is going to give us, because we know a diameter is equal to 2 of the radii. That makes sense? So because the diameter is equal to 2 of the radii, so that means we can now say the area of the circle is going to give us pi d2 divided by what? 4. Okay? So pi d2 divided by 4. So this is how you find the area of a what? Area of a circle. So so I can now put in the terms here. So where r is equal to the radius, okay? And d is equal to the what? The diameter. So I've introduced the concept of the diameter in previous videos, so it's important you go back and have a look. So that's how you find the area of a circle, all right? And that's how you do it. So let's move on to the next, okay? So how do we go about solving this? How do we go about solving this? Usually there are 3 steps or 3 rules to use to do this. There are 3 steps or 3 rules. I'm going to just write it all the way, all the way here so that it will be easy for you to solve. So basically, the first thing you have to do is that you have to identify the radius, or if the diameter, as the case may be, as appropriate. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is to identify the radius or diameter as appropriate. Okay, now when you're done doing that, the second thing you have to do then, you have to then substitute this into the formula. Okay, so you have to then substitute into the appropriate formula. Okay, so the formula is the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared or pi d squared divided by what? 4. So pi r squared or pi d squared divided by 4. And number 3, we then what? Simplify. All right. So the first thing you have to do is that you identify the radius or diameter as appropriate. Then after that, you then substitute into the appropriate formula, and you use pi r squared or pi d squared divided by 4. Then you simplify. Okay, good. Let me pick some examples. Maybe I'm going to pick maybe 1 or 2 examples here to solve so that we can further understand or solidify the concept with length. All right, so let me pick an example. Okay, so for instance, we have this. We have a circle has a radius of 10 cm. Okay, we're now told to calculate the area. Okay, the circle has a radius of 10 cm, and we're now told to calculate the area. So the first thing, like I said in the previous slide, I said you have to identify the radius or diameter as appropriate. So let's go here. So step 1. In this case, we're given the radius, right? Not the diameter. So the radius here, in this case is 10 centimeter. Okay. Now, step 2, I then said that we then substitute this into the appropriate formula. Now, because we're given the radius here, we're going to use the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. So we know that the area of a circle is equal to what? Pi r squared. And that'll be equal to pi multiplied by what's the radius? 10 squared. All right, then step 3, we then what? Simplify. So when you punch this into your calculator, it's going to give us 100 pi cm squared, or if you want it in decimal, it's going to give us 314.16 centimeter what? Squared. So any of this is that. So in some exam questions, or in some questions, they want you to leave it in an exact form. So if they want it in an exact form, it's going to become 100 pi centimeter squared. But if they want it in approximate form or in significant figures or decimal places, then you have to get usually 2 decimal places should be 314.16 centimeter squared. So I'm going to pick one more. I'll pick one more example here. So let's say we have this number 2, okay? We have a circle, has a diameter of 40 centimeters squared, or sorry, 40 centimeter. Calculate the area. Okay, we're told that it has a diameter of 40 centimeter, and we're told to calculate the area. So in order to do this, I'm going to use two methods here, all right? I'm going to use the pi d squared over 4 to solve this, and I'm going to use the pi r squared over 4 to solve this. So regardless the method you want, you will get the same thing. So let's start with the first one. So method one, I'm going to use the one where you have pi d squared. So we know where we have the area of a circle is pi, the square of the diameter divided by 4. All right, so method. So step one, in this case, we have the d to be equal to 40 centimeter. Then step two, all right, we then use the appropriate formula. So in this case, the appropriate formula is going to be the area of a circle. Okay, the area of the circle is equal to pi d squared divided by what? 4. And which is going to give us pi. The d is 40 squared divided by 4. And step 3, you simplify. So step 3, you simplify. You punch this into your calculator. It's going to give you 400 pi centimeters squared. Or if you punch it, it's going to give you 1256.64 centimeter what? Squared. All right. Now, this is one method for this. All right. Now, some of you might not be conversant with pi d squared over 4, but you want to use pi r squared. All right. So that is the method 2 now I want to talk about. So the second method, method 2. All right. Now, in this case now, you need to know that the relationship between the diameter of a circle and the radius is equal to the diameter divided by 2. The diameter of a circle divided by 2 is equal to the radius of that circle. So that means this must be your good friend. You must know this concept before you proceed using this method. So if you are really stuck up on using the pi r squared, you need to know that the diameter is equal to twice the radius, or you can say the radius is equal to the diameter divided by 2. So let's go on now. So then step 1, we know the diameter is equal to 40. Okay, so that means we can find the radius now. The radius is going to be 40 divided by 2, and that is going to give you what? 20. So that means it's going to be 40 centimeter, and this is going to be 20 what? Centimeter. Then step 2. All right. Step 2 now, we're going to apply the area of a circle. Now, the area of a circle is going to be equal to pi r squared. Okay, so that means it's going to give us equal to pi. The r is 20. The r is 20 squared. Are you seeing that? Then, when you now know the r is 20 squared, then step 3, we then simplify. You point this into your calculator, it's going to give you 400 pi centimeters squared. Or if you want it in decimal, and you're going to get the same thing, 1256.64 centimeter what? Squared. So you see, you're getting exactly the same thing we got using the other method. So it does not really matter, all right? So it does not really matter. So, but if you just want to use the pi r squared, you need to always remember that the diameter divided by 2 is equal to the radius. All right. And that is that for that. So we're done with finding the area of a circle. All right. So we've done this. We know the area of a circle is pi r squared. And we've talked about different concepts around that. So the next video I'm going to go straight into is the Pythagoras theorem. So the Pythagoras theorem is basically how do we find the opposite, the hypotenuse, the adjacent of a right angle triangle, and also the angle subtended by this size of a right angle triangle. And so that means it's very important for you to click the notification bell so that when I post the next video on Pythagoras theorem, you will be the first person to know. All right, so see you soon, and I'll see you in the next video where we talk about Pythagoras theorem.